Okay, welcome back to Learn with Your Brains. I'm still your co-instructor, Dr. Donald, Coordinator 1. Okay, so in the previous tutorial, we did something about the houses model, and now we move to the students model. Right, so in your student model, this is where you are going to see your programs, your managed students. Okay, and there's a function here called the result summary. What this does is you can print your result summary of each student, okay, depending on the year batch. So let's start with that aspect. So when you click on result summary, you select your by batch or by program. So mostly if you want the summary, you could select batch or program, but I'll select batch for this. Then your batch here, because I've worked with the reports or the results of 2020 batch, so I can choose 2020 batch, then print it by subject on the same page. So when you click on print results, it will download it. I've already downloaded it and open it. So when you open the Excel sheet, it will be something like this. Okay, so it's going to give you the student. Okay, is free SHS code, then the year, which is year 2, semester 1, year 2, semester 2, is going to give you all the grades of each students and the courses or subjects she did. So it's in that order. Okay, that is when you want the continuous assessment or the result summary of a year batch. Okay, so it's going to give you all accordingly. Okay, so you see we have over 10,000 sheets of Excel records here. Okay, it's even up to 13,000. Yeah, so that is how you can use that function within what the student model. Then we have the sandbox credentials. So if you've already edited a student, okay, you can send a credential and he or she is going to receive it on his email to get what the login into the system, just like the same way we did for teachers who will be on the portal. So when you get to the teachers module, I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so this is what the credential, sending back credential to all the students within that year batch. Okay, so that each student, that is when you've edited their information. Okay, that is where they are going to receive those credentials from the IT department. So when you go to the CSP student enrolled, when you click there, it's going to give you this as CSE enrolled student data source. So mostly this comes from the computer selection placement portal, so that after they do every placement, they send it direct into the system for us as the IT coordinators or the administrators to be able to select the year by, so that we group the students according to their classes, which we have created already on the system. So we have the year batch. So I think started from 2017. So when you click on 2020 year batch, you can select a program, let's say business student. Then it's going to populate all those within the business student. Okay, so now this is where issues pops up a lot when you are trying to assign some classes to students. Okay, so you could see these students has been turned off in the system. About Fatima Tumutara. Okay, so business under the go track. So I can select a class for her because they are in form 2 as 2020 badge. I can give her what to business A, which is what I created as earlier on in the system. So when you go back to that tutorial, you know how to create those yourself. So when you select this, then you see first it was empty, now it has changed to business A. Then you give the person a house, then maybe assign the person to what he or she is. Perfect. Or you can turn it off as well. So that is probably how things are being done within what the student model. Okay, so you can just switch when the student has issue of maybe moving from, let's say, business to or the name of the student doesn't appear on your portal as a teacher. You contact the IT administrator. Maybe some of the names might be turned off, just like the way it was at first, so that the coordinator can turn them back on for you to be able to register the students, so that you can enter their scores or your class mark and exam score. So is probably, and when you go to 2021 batch, this is where mostly the problem is. Sometimes when you change a student, okay, to maybe a class, it automatically deletes the student from the portal or from this model. But what you need to do is to go back to where it move and move it back to what. So let's say, let me check whether I have some students who have not been assigned. Go to the visual art department. Okay, yeah, you see something like this. Okay, they are turned off by the system. So when you click on, let's say, business, or let's say put it on visual art, you see automatically the student has been deleted from here. This is some errors the system was populating. Okay, but when you go to, okay, let's check this one too, that's the same name. You see, this is also what, Asabia Erica. Now when I change to visual art, she is also going to be deleted the same way as the one was deleted. Visual art, she's gone. So you might be seeing that there's an issue with what is going on. But what you need to do here is just search for Asabia. You could see that we can't find Asabia here. So let's go back to business and see whether we find her. No. General art, no. Home econs, no. Visual art, no. She's still what, within the visual art as we search her. So from here we can do what, we can now assign what, a class for her, then the house, then we assign. So this is some of the issues mostly we the coordinator has been facing within the system. So I think that is what the Zlich company needs to work on, because there is no way when you try to select a program for a student, it should automatically be off of the system. At least it should stay like how the first interface was. So I think that is most issues most coordinators are facing now. So that is the trick. Okay, so whenever you select a program for a student and it automatically delete, just try to navigate through all the programs, but first trying to type the student name. So before you assign a program, I know that is the issues you'll be facing, so it's good to note their names down so that when they get off of the program of study, you can retype their name at the search bar, then try to navigate through all the programs you are offering in the school again, and you are going to find so that you assign the correct class and the correct house, then assign that student to that portal. I hope you've had some nice information about this, and that is all for the student portal. I think, or the student model, that's where people have been facing a lot of issue about assigning students and temporary kind of deleting of students from the system, which they are always found in the system. They have not been deleted. It's just that it's an error base, which I think the Zlich company needs to work on it. But I'll show you the trick of how to go about it when you find such issue within the student model. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If any question, you can ask me, okay, you can DM me, so we go through a bit for you to understand properly. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the student model, and see you in the next tutorial where